KBGA Missoula. You're listening to Missing Zhongguo. Today, our show has the theme of 疤 in Chinese, which means a scar. So, Mr. C, can you relate it to any movies?
Sure. Very quickly, we'll talk about a movie that I personally kind of find overrated, though many people love it, and that is the 1983 version of Scarface, starring Al Pacino as somebody from Cuba. Don't ask me why they thought Al Pacino should play a Cuban. People love Scarface. Scarface has influenced a lot of gangster rap. If you listen to old gangster rap from the 1990s, you'll hear lots of references to Scarface. It's a Brian De Palma film. I believe it's written by Oliver Stone. It's a great pedigree for a movie. And the movie very often looks great. It is very much a product of the 1980s. If you want to see really what people thought the 1980s were all about during the 1980s, Scarface is a good movie to watch. And it's got some, if you like violence, it's got lots and lots of violence. But the truth of the matter is, most of the screenplay, and this is surprising because it was written by Oliver Stone, most of the screenplay, the dialogue is pretty terrible. It's kind of cheesy almost. But maybe that's the point. I don't know. Anyway, Scarface, an overrated film you should watch if you want to see a good artifact from the 1980s. I also want to mention, because it's May the 4th, and that is considered a Star Wars holiday, I just want to remind everybody with my opinion about the whole Star Wars franchise that makes some people angry, but I don't care. There should have only been one Star Wars movie. That was the 1977 movie. And the fact that it was turned into a quote-unquote franchise has been nothing but disastrous for Hollywood. And people will say, well, they made a lot of money in the 80s making nothing but blockbusters and sequels. And then in the early 2000s, nothing but reboots and remakes. But now you look at Hollywood, it is literally comic book movies. And that's what the great screenwriter William Goldman predicted in the early 1980s. He said, eventually Hollywood will be nothing but comic book movies. That is the result partially of Jaws, but mostly because of Star Wars. And the first movie is the only movie that matters. After that, it's all soap opera.
Okay. I think you said that because you had too much expectation out of Hollywood.
Well, if you look at the movies leading up to Star Wars, and even the first 5 years or so afterwards, you still have, in the wake of Star Wars, you still have movies like The Deer Hunter and Kramer versus Kramer and Ordinary People, movies that are big-time Hollywood movies. Ordinary People was directed by Robert Redford. These are big-time Hollywood productions that are made for adults. They're made, and that doesn't mean pornographic. It means drama-wise and the levels of complexity in the storytelling. They're intended for adults. But gradually over time, the quality of the movies degenerated or I don't know what word I'm looking for, devolved. I'll just make one up. But you compare it to the early 1970s, look at some of the Best Picture winners. The Godfather, that's a movie for adults. The French Connection, that's a movie for adults, even though it's exciting. The Exorcist, technically, that's a movie for adults, even though it's a horror movie. Star Wars was it was intended for children. George Lucas made that movie for children. So for Hollywood to use that as a blueprint, that means eventually they were just going to make movies for children.
Yeah, so what? That's what I just said. You have too much expectation out of one movie company. So we need more competitors, more other movie.
Well, it's funny that you say that, just as Warner Brothers and Paramount do a merger. So two of the biggest surviving studios, excuse me, two of the biggest surviving studios merging together, that means less and less competition. It's going to get worse.
Okay, then it's opportunity for some people who are not yet in that, competition yet.
I wish
right?
that were true. I wish that were true. I hope your fantasy is correct.
It's not a fantasy. By the way, May the 4th is also the Youth Day in China. So may all the youth come up and do what they want and join the competition.
Perfect. May the 4th, Star Wars and Youth Day, because Star Wars is a children's movie. It's for children.
But here, youth is not actually not for children. It's like
Vitality?
people from,
immaturity?
No, after 18. So from 18 to like 35 or something.
Oh, that's considered youth.
Yes.
Well, okay. Looks like China is in just as big a trouble as the United States.
Okay. Thank you for the recommendation and the talk. I hope you enjoyed it, everybody.